I can give you some of the 5 greatest men that ever lived. As the history of the world has it. And very available to me to use here will be the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, which is endorsed by the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims, partly though, and maybe other religions. But then the point is, these 5 figures I'm going to mention, from 5 to 1, are extraordinary figures. You may want to agree with me. And number 5 is Samson. Samson in the Bible, as recorded in the book of Judges, he was the child that was prophesied to be born even before his birth. This was a time when the Israelites were being oppressed by the Philistines. And Samson was born with an instruction not to cut his hair. He was given a gift that he was arguably one of the most strongest men that ever lived. Samson was one man that killed 1,000 Philistine soldiers with a jaw of a donkey. One man. Wow, what a man that would be to kill fighting men. When we are talking about men, we are not just talking about any Tom, Dick, and Harry. These were fighting men. And this guy destroyed all of them and was still standing. He was said to have fought a lion. The Bible didn't record a lioness, a lion, bare hand. If you know how scary a lioness is, now think of a lion. And so many others did, the guy did. Though there was a shortcoming to his greatness, but we cannot deny his greatness. Yes. So for me, I will put Samson at number 5. And at number 4, I will pick Enoch. Enoch, as recorded in the book of Genesis, was a man who his way was pleasing God, and he lived and did not die. And he went and walked with God. That is how the conventional Bible records it. But if you go to the Coptic Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, you see that the person of Enoch was given more priority, as in knowing the secrets behind the watchers, and was even used to punish the watchers until he went to be with God. Enoch is certainly one of the greatest men that have lived. Imagine living this life without having to experience death, and then you blaze on into glory. Man, Enoch no be your mates. No be your mates. If you feed a drag, say you and Samson are mates, we will not be mates. You and this guy no still be mates. And then from there, I will go to Elijah. Elijah is another prophet in the Hebrew Bible. Elijah was a man who called down rain and called down fire from heaven and could declare a society, a community barren, and they will go under drought. And then he can release them when he so prayed. Elijah was obviously somebody who lived, walked, and went to be with God without dying. Man, that is greatness up there. Oh boy, he choke. Elijah was certainly a prophet that would have earned your respect if you existed alongside with him, no matter wherever you are. And anybody that have heard his story must have also shown some respect to the man called Elijah. So for me, number 2 will be Moses. Moses is another child that was foretold to come. And he was born when other children were being slaughtered for being Hebrew. But Moses was spared miraculously. I believe all of us that exist desire such a miracle savings in times of trouble as such. And then Moses went on, even though he was a Hebrew, they were being punished. He grew up as a royalty rather than a slave. And even at that, he never forgot who he was. Isn't that awesome? And he was not a coward to say, man, I just better chill here. You know, I might be Pharaoh one day and then I'll change this whole thing. He didn't choose that route. He was so voracious and courageous that he moved to the point that one man, Egypt as then was like the world power of the world. And Moses moved on, went on a mission to liberate the entire Israel from Egypt. And he did. He is the man you have heard of that struck the Red Sea, and the Red Sea divided into two for about 400,000 people to pass on the floor. Wow. And that one shook. The guy was the one that did the miracle that manna was falling from heaven, and then quails was also falling. So God was giving the Israelites carbohydrate and protein. Can you beat that? And then this, we cannot attribute entirely to these people individually themselves, but we can also attribute it to a higher power, which is God. And my number one of all the greatest men that existed, I bet you already know it coming, it has to be Jesus Christ. Amen. I am the comforter, the light, the life, and the truth. He is the number one for all the greatest that have existed called men. This guy was foretold before he was born, and he was not just born, he was born of a virgin. A virgin. If you're a Catholic, you know what it means when they say Holy Mary. She's built and constructed in grace as another person that should have made this list. But obviously, Jesus is the greatest that have lived. One man who did all he did in the space of the time which he lived, and he died and he resurrected and he ascended. And how many years later, his corporation, which he has established before he left, without borrowing capital from anybody, is still running up strong, still ruling the world, predicting the times and what will come after this time. We are not all created equal, but we must also respect each and every one, as every human being deserves some dignity. Every creature, as a matter of fact, has the right to exist. But we know, even in the cadre of existence, we are not equals. Some enjoy more privilege than others. But certainly, respect is reciprocal. And maybe how we accept greatness and ungreatness could be one of the key factors of finding out why we are here. Respect greatness and let greatness respect you. All men are not born equal. So don't be envious of another man because you think he's greater than you. Do not be. Rather, learn from them. Appreciate them, the work of God. It's in the appreciation of them that you get to assume your own greatness. But when you fight a greatness that is really greater than you are, you will be squashed in no time. And that is why there is a lot of chaos and conflict in our world today. Even though we try to cover it with civilization and human advancement, we cannot deny that we are living in chaos. Controlled chaos maybe, We hope it doesn't totally go out of control though. Let's practice respect, let's practice love, and let's practice tolerance.